Yo, what is going on, guys? Today, gonna bring you guys another video here. I'll talk about the recent manipulation that just happened, which I have been talking about for the past couple of weeks. Um, this obviously played out a lot faster than I thought it would, but in all my previous videos, I was talking about how this level here was an extreme level of importance. That being because there's a lot of predictable liquidity here due to stop losses, and crypto has a really big derivative market, so there's incentives from hedge funds and big market makers to come down, take all these people out, use their stops. So when someone gets stopped out, it operates as a market sell. So all these people from here and here are all forced to sell at exactly the same time. Price goes shooting down. Now allows somebody to buy because there's enough liquidity on the books for them to fill large, billion-dollar positions without getting any slippage here at a very low cost, right? Talked about this quite a bit in all my videos. And basically what we've seen here is this played out obviously a lot faster than I thought, but it came down here, hit the box perfectly, and it actually closed its daily candle above, this swing here, which was ultimately the other level. And why this level down here, why I was looking for this level to get hit, multiple reasons. This here and this here was just a big manipulation zone. And then if you zoom out on the monthly, you'll see that we made a higher low. So came down. Now we're just retesting the higher low here. So I know a lot of people are really scared or just got shook out of their market, shook out of the market, maybe because they had leveraged positions, and those leveraged positions all just got liquidated. But it's always in the times where it feels the worst to buy is the best times to buy, right? Selling right now during an extreme time of fear is just stupid. And I'm not a financial advisor, but that's just my opinion. Now you can see in the immediate short term on Bitcoin, what did we do all yesterday, right? We were making lower lows and we were making higher lows on the RSI. So this is showing strength in the market, which is the same thing that I talked about up here on the 4-hour, where we were making higher highs on the price and we were making lower highs on the RSI. And whenever you have divergence like this, you're looking at the low that created it. So here's the low. This was the target. Obviously, this target got absolutely smashed for the bearish divergence here. And I also talked about this level being hit here because it was an untested range, but obviously with this news, the volatility just, made it kind of kerplunk all the way back down. But right now, we're seeing bullish divergence on the 4-hour as well. Obviously, this is already playing out here, so we're going to need to see some follow-up. And just another note on all this manipulation here. Exchanges are also very much incentivized to liquidate people. The reason being is the exchanges make a lot of money when people get liquidated, because if you understand how leverage works, so say you're taking a 100x trade, right? If price went down, you'd think if you were taking a 100x trade, if price went down against you 1%, you'd be liquidated. That's not how it works. And the reason why it doesn't work like that is because there needs to be a buffer on the exchange to cover the spread there, because you're not necessarily going to get filled right where you get liquidated, right? So say you get liquidated here, but there's not enough liquidity on the books, you might get filled down here. And the exchange would have to pay this spread between here to here. So what exchanges do to cover themselves for that is they liquidate you at, so say you're taking a 100x trade again, the exchange would liquidate you at 0.7 instead of 1%. And the reason they do this, now they have a 30% buffer on, you know, where you're getting liquidated. So you get liquidated here, it's got to go down, you know, the extra 0.3 before it starts eating into their fees, right? And basically exchanges, depending on your exchange, it'll be different. It'll be very slightly different on what they liquidate you on, but they make a ton of money on this spread because generally, most of the time they're just making a big margin between there because there's usually liquidity on the books there to fill you before, you know, that extra 0.3. And this is obviously just looking at 100x, but it's the same proportions on, you know, 2x, 3x, you know, whatever. So basically, they make a ton of money when they liquidate you. So not only are exchanges incentivized to liquidate you, but so are, you know, these hedge funds to pull these really good positions off like this. Like this daily candle here is crazy. Look at the level of absorption that happened here. This was Trump, you know, manipulating the price here to fill a bunch of bags from important players here. Shake a bunch of people out of the market, transfer money from many to few, and make people very rich. Unfortunately, that's kind of just how manipulation works. If you look, I'll pull up a snippet here. This crash here was the biggest crash in the history for liquidations. And you'll see it's over 10 times the amount of, you know, these other crashes here. So this was extremely significant. And what you'll see on like exchanges like Binance, which is the biggest exchange in the world, when price was hitting these low levels, altcoins were getting slammed, absolutely slammed. And basically they said due to a high volume, you know, they weren't letting people buy down these ranges for altcoins, and altcoins were dumping, you know, like 50% at this time, and the exchanges wouldn't let you buy. You know why the exchanges aren't letting you buy? They'll say it's due to volume, but it's because they have, you know, key people that they're trying to have their bags filled. So they only let certain people fill their bags during that time because they're getting, you know, the best prices that they'll see in a very long time. I mean, if you look at the liquidation heat map here, look at all these people that got destroyed. Like it's pretty insane. We'll hop over to ETH real quick just so I can give you an update here, but ETH actually looks very strong. We're seeing divergence here on the daily, which has a very high probability of playing out. See it right there. But basically the target for this is here, which makes sense because due to a liquidity standpoint, once you take out one side of the range, you go for the other side. You know, all the liquidity got wiped out on the bottom side of this market. There's only one place right now where liquidity is, and it's on the top side. So this is the next direction that we're going. Look at all these stops here on the top side of the market, right? If you shorted Ethereum in the past, you know, how long is this? In the past 46 days, all of these guys' stop losses are in the same spot. And now they're incentivized to come back this direction to cause a huge pop here. And we're already kind of starting to see a rally even while I'm filming this video here. But ETH looks very good if we hold here. I mean, whenever you have an event like this, there's always a level of aftershock that comes because so many people just got wiped out of their position. So many people are just like, we're going way lower. This looks horrible, blah, blah, blah. This is the start of the bear market. And realistically, if you look at other times where we've had crashes like this, like let's look at the COVID crash. Okay, we crashed down, 64% or whatever it was. Guess what happened after this? It marked the low before a massive, run up. Um, I mean, selling right now, obviously, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not telling you to buy or sell, but selling right now is just really stupid. Um, if you go over to some of the macro indicators that I look at as well, we're still green on the major trends here. Still looking very green. And we're also seeing from this indicator here, this marks times where we've been oversold with this really, really green bars here. And what you'll see is we're looking really, really oversold here. So basically, another way you can see this at one of my other indicators that I kind of built from TradingView, but this heat map here, you'll see that in times of big dips, we get these blue levels here, which basically is like a cool off reset for the market during times, showing that we're very oversold. And right now we're already showing this blue oversold value here, and you'll see like at the bottom of a bear market, here bottom of the bear market, where this is the higher term time frame, this is the lower term time frame. So on the lower term time frames, we're starting to be oversold. And you'll look at any time here, like where we've gotten to a top, you'll see we're not oversold at all. It's extremely overheated in these levels, which is just something that we're not seeing here. We're looking more like this is just an incredible buying opportunity here. And it's just so hard for people to buy during these times after such a big scare like this. But honestly, Bitcoin did exactly what it should do. I mean, it's coming back here and testing its structure. People just need to zoom out and look at what's going on here. All right? You come down, you test the higher low. What happened during the tariff crash? Everybody was panicking. Here's the higher low of the whole structure. And we came back and just barely front ran it, but this was the test of the previous structure here. If you look out on the monthly, everything looks completely fine, but during this time here, this move down, everybody was saying doom and gloom, bear market, it's over. I mean, you cannot consider something a bear market unless we're losing levels on the monthly chart. Like here, we came down and we got rejected from the low swing here. On the monthly time frame, after losing it, this is what a bear market looks like. You come down, you lose the higher low, and you reject from the bottom of it. We're not doing anything like that. We're literally holding the top side of the range. Like this is just healthy market structure. And I mean it looks very scary to people that aren't zooming out, but if you zoom out, everything looks completely fine. And I'll play, I have another video here pulled up, just kind of showing how much manipulation happened in the market here, but I'll let you guys, I saw this the other day and just figured I'd share it just to give you guys an idea of, the level of manipulation that actually happened.
One made $190 million while the crypto markets were crashing yesterday in light of tariffs that seem to have been preempted by a very specific trader. We're going to get into it. I want to be clear that I'm not accusing anyone of a crime here. Insider trading specifically relates to securities. We've been pretty clear that crypto, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, are not securities. So I don't even know what this is. I think this is all legal, kind of. I don't think it should be, as you'll see. But the question is, what did this guy know? Okay, how did somebody make $190 million while everyone else was losing their shirts yesterday? If you don't know, there was one of the biggest crashes we've ever seen in crypto. And someone came in 24 hours before and started placing shorts against the market. Short is just when you bet that the underlying asset is going to go down in price and you will make money on that. Now, this all started October 9th. At 16:39 GMT time, they start accumulating this Bitcoin short. They initially put, and this is not chump change, guys. This isn't under your couch, pennies. This is $80 million that initially gets deposited, and they start placing shorts against Bitcoin. Okay, that's fine. Now the amount is unusual, but that itself is not the unusual part. Then we have Ethereum starts to get shorted at 349 GMT. Interesting. $30 million gets deposited into this account. Immediately start placing major bets that the market is going to go down. Why is this significant? Well, because at 1457, this is only a few hours later, like 12 hours later, Trump posts on Truth Social that they are calculating a massive increase on Chinese tariffs. This is due to a rare earth mineral dispute. But the point is, nobody knew this was coming, except, of course, maybe this guy, because he's already got these multi-million-dollar shorts. Now, where I think this goes from suspicious to downright diabolical is the fact that at this point, the market dips a little bit because you have these threats of tariffs. But the person does not start closing out their shorts yet, which I think is very interesting. If you place this huge short bet and then the president tweets something like this, you would think you would close out your order. But not only do they not do that, not only do they not close out their short, they continue to place short bets against Bitcoin. In fact, this person continues to short Bitcoin all the way up till 2049.23 GMT. Why is that significant, ladies and gentlemen? It's because 2049 is the last short he places, okay? 2050 GMT. A minute later, 1 minute later, Trump announces they're considering an 100% tariff on China, which of course tanks the market. And this person makes literally $190 million in 24 hours. Meaning the guy was placing shorts up to 1 minute before Trump announces this big, huge 100% tariffs. And then, by the way, immediately, as if he knew something, we start seeing the shorts close only 30 minutes later. So both the ETH and Bitcoin short closed 30 minutes later.
So that was just a quick video there to let show you guys. Shout out to this guy. I've never watched any of his videos before. Voidzilla. I thought that was a super interesting video there. But yeah, it just kind of gives you guys an understanding of the level of manipulation and insider trading that happened during this crash. But just wanted to give you guys my insights, and obviously, I think we're still all good here. There's a level of aftershock that comes after big dumps like this because the confidence has to be rebuilt back into the market. But ultimately, I think this was just a big transfer between many people to small people. Unfortunately, if you guys got shaken out of your positions, there's always going to be more opportunities. But that's going to be it for me for now. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your guys' day. If you don't mind dropping a like or a subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. Bye.